So let's talk about how to attract, how do we get more business? Let's start with listings. Everybody wants to know, how do I get more listings? How do I really make that pipeline big? So let's talk about low to no cost listing generators. First of all, outbound dialing, expireds, for sale by owners, and circle prospecting. You have to get good at calling expireds. I know Lars has mentioned before that he didn't build his business that way, but it doesn't mean that it's not a pillar you shouldn't consider. If you don't have a consistent stream of leads that are closing, right? Leads to conversion to close, then take a look at this pillar and see if it's something that you need to do in your business. And maybe it's you. Maybe you have to fill this role for a while. And then when you get really good at it, you can hire an ISA or you can have agents making these calls. Circle prospect around your listing. Circle prospect around a house you sold in the neighborhood, like as for a buyer agent. Direct mailing, combined outbound calling with direct mailing to expireds and FSBOs. Are you going to for sale by owners' houses, letting them know, hey, if you have a buyer or if you have a buyer that needs to sell a house, I'd love to talk with them. You know, do you have a disclosure? All those little things, right? It's not anything new or inventive. It's kind of going back to the basics. Sphere of influence, past clients, referral and database marketing for you, the agents, and the staff. Everybody going to these guys, asking for referrals, talking to them, touching base, networking with them. Go for no. Anybody you speak to, ask them if they know if they need to buy a home, if they know of anybody that needs to sell. Buyer leads, right? We have leads coming in, yard signs. We have internet leads coming in. How is our conversion? How are we doing? Open houses with the intent to get sellers. Are you door knocking around the open houses? Are you mailing, inviting them in? Are you providing anything when they get there? Or are you just opening the door and saying, you know, thanks for coming? Or do you know how your agents hold opens? Other low to no cost listing generators. Structured SOI or business mastermind, kind of building your own networking group, but making sure it's a focused networking group. New home builder reps that most are not licensed and they can't work with sellers. So if you have one of those big builders in your area and, you know, people just come to them and they want to buy a house, they may have a house to sell. So really creating a relationship with some of those representatives could be another pillar for you. Door knocking, just door knocking in general. Buyer sold signs, putting a sign in the yard that you just sold to a buyer for 2 to 4 weeks after closing. You'll get calls off that. It's just generating more leads that could turn into business. Some kind of marketing strategy, right? Using a USP. And then optimizing your current lead traffic. If you have calls coming in after hours or on your website, people would have a question, can they get a hold of you? Maybe you need something like a Ready Chat. We used that for a while, or used that for our seller website. And we had people, you know, chatting to representatives at 10:30 at night. And that may have been a lead that we could have lost.